Space Shuttle, one of 3 System 9 games that Williams created before they transitioned to the System 11 CPU set. I have my Siegecraft display simulator, my Siegecraft lamp matrix simulator, my homemade solenoid simulator, and my Pennytech switch matrix simulator. And let's boot her up. So you can see it's oscillating between the last score and the high score to date. Lamp matrix is doing what it's supposed to do. And the only solenoid on is the coin lockout solenoid. Going into test. Display test. Operating properly. The next test is lamp test, I believe. Wrong about that. The next test was sound test, and to accomplish that, I without the speech board on, I jumpered between the lower side of the capacitor and the resistor. It simulates having the jumper in place. Lamp matrix operating correctly, and the next test is the solenoids. Now, System 9 games don't have the ability to operate the special solenoids from the CPU, so I'm just going to rake this connector. Again, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and that shows that the switch-driven special solenoids are operational. Last test is switch test. So I'm just going to walk through all of column 1. And row 1. And on Space Shuttle, switch 49 is the last test. So that is the complete switch matrix. And now the game will cycle through the audits and adjustments, reboot itself, and lamp matrix is back to operating again. Pretty cool looking on a little Siegecraft unit. I usually use the one that I made. And then we're back to the only coil being on the coin lockout. So what was the problem with this board? Well, it was booting with an error code of 7, which is just the default electronic sort of normal situation. If you had no processor in the board, it would boot with the code 7. Turned out that this line driver at U2, the line driver at U3, these were both 1897s originally. You can replace those with 74 LS367s. And this line driver at U23, which drives the data lines, was also shot too. So this has to be an LS245, or I believe you could put an HZT245 in there. So this one up here survived. Space Shuttle is one of those games that I think you can connect the head connectors backwards, and this sort of thing happens. That's just the theory. I have no idea what actually happened to this board, but I did replace those 3 ICs and we're good to go. Of course, I use sockets every time I replace an IC. I replaced the headers all the way around. The original headers are those round headers from Williams, and they're just worn out over the years. And I replaced the power input filter caps. There's 3 of them there. And then the caps over in the sound section too, just for giggles. Maybe it'll sound a little bit better than it did before, but this board is rock solid now. You don't see clean System 9 boards like this very often. So I was interested in helping the client repair this one. Thank you so much for sending it. Back in the mail it goes.